Maharaj, compared to you, we are toxic.
Really? Oh, whatever.
I know you're detoxed. So compared to that.
Is that a play on words just because I came from a treatment place? Thank you. I'm doing well. We just got stuck in Mumbai for a couple of days. But we found we had to get another ticket, to get out of there and the last minute, so it gets expensive. But I'm happy to be back home. That's all I can say. Good. Sri Bhuvaneshwari, you're sideways. Is there any way you can do something about that? Okay. Good. Who do we have? Ragini, thank you for joining
Hare
us.
Krishna Maharaj.
I can see you're driving in the Florida sun. Okay.
Going home afterwards. Going home afterwards.
Nice. Okay, great. So thank you, Bruce. I'm glad we can get together today. I think we should just go ahead and start with our pranam mantras to Prabhupada and then the Maha Mantra, eventually Panchatattva Maha Mantra. Okay, let's do it together. Nama Om Shubhadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisheshanyavadi Pasyati Sarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We'll go to page 1 of the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. Om Jnana Timirandasya
Om Jnana Timirandasya
Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
I was born in the darkest ignorance.
I was born in the darkest
ignorance.
And my spiritual master opened my eyes.
And my spiritual master opened my eyes
with the torch of knowledge.
With the torch of knowledge.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
I offer my respectful
obeisances unto him.
Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay, our host Vaishnavi, she'll tell us where we're at today. We appreciate you doing that for us.
2:15.
2:15, okay, great. We're crawling along. 2:15. All good stuff. Yeah, so that was the verse. Okay, we finished some important ones. Yang hina vyatyan yete purusham purusharshava samaduka sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate. Okay, so here's the translation. O best among men, Arjun, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. Good. So in the purport, we'll read it. Everyone take one sentence. We'll try to see if we can cover this next hour with one verse. One sentence, read it nice and slow. And the last person on the list can read the verse one more time. Okay? Chai. So do you want to set up the cue for us, Vaishnavi?
Gurudas, Mansi Ganga, Shakti Devi, Vasanta, Vashi, and then the whole cycle will repeat. After
okay,
Vashi,
great.
Yeah, maybe I can read after Vashi.
And we have George with us as well. Haribo George joining us. Okay, let's go for that purport then, please.
Purport. Anyone who is steady in his determination for the advanced stage of spiritual realization and can equally tolerate the onslaughts of distress and happiness is certainly a person eligible for liberation. In the Varna, okay, Jai.
No, no, one.
In the Varnashram, in the
No,
Varnashram,
no, just one sentence per person.
okay, sorry.
That's all we can afford. There's a lot said in there, you know, not one sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
In the Varnashrama institution, the fourth stage of life, namely the renounced order, sannyasa, is a painstaking situation.
Right, next.
But one who is serious about making his life perfect surely adopts the sannyasa order of life in spite of all difficulties.
Nice.
The difficulties usually arise from having to sever family relationships to give up the connection of wife and children.
Thank you.
But if anyone is able to tolerate such difficulties, surely his path to spiritual realization is complete.
Nice. Next.
Similarly, in Arjuna's discharge of duties as a Kshatriya, he is advised to persevere, even if it is difficult to fight with his family members or similarly beloved persons.
Thank you.
Lord Chaitanya took sannyasa at the age of 24, and his dependents, young wife as well as old mother, had no one else to look after them.
Good. Next.
Thus, please.
Arjuna.
Who's next?
Yet, for a higher cause, he took sannyasa and was steady in the discharge of higher duties. That is the way of achieving liberation from material bondage.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much. Someone's needing my attention. We're building a whole new conference room up in the balcony. It's right next to my room. So give me a second. Thank you.
Sorry, I was on mute, everyone.
Thank you, Vaishnavi.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. You are muted. We cannot hear you.
Oh, for allowing me to include Bhakta Jorge.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I cannot hear, or I'm wrong.
Well, we are all silent technically. I'm just going to read until Maharaj comes back. I'm just going to read the translation.
Okay.
O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. That's very...
Okay, Bruce, we're back. Thank you so much. Okay, now we just finished, going over a series of beautiful verses. Krishna's speaking now, so we have to give full attention. Before it was Arjuna. Yeah. And basically he was making a list of excuses why he shouldn't go ahead with his duty. And Krishna said, okay, you're finished now. Let me say a few things. And whatever Krishna has to say is of great value to us all. Krishna talked about transmigration of the soul. He talked about how to tolerate dualities. Now he's talking about liberation from this world. And anybody who's steady in both happiness and distress gets to achieve liberation. What do you all think about that? You know, we all have ups and downs. Isn't it? Some of you even have stairways in your house. You go to up and you go down. Maybe you got 3 floors, maybe a basement, 4 floors. My God, you're going up and down. And, you know, the good thing about going up and down stairs, it's actually good for you. It's a good exercise. It gets the knees working and you start to use muscles you don't normally. It's better than having a flat, you know, 1 floor level. So, you know, let's stop complaining. I have to do the stairs. The stairs is good for you. Yeah, so somebody who can, let's say, be very persevering of happiness and distress in this world is eligible for liberation. Doesn't mean they're liberated, but they're eligible. They become really good candidates for that. And I think everybody wants that. I think there's strength that lies in persevering and being able to handle stressful situations. Anybody who works in the business world knows that you've got to deal with, say, like customers or co-workers. They're not always the easiest people to deal with, you know. But you just have to tolerate that. I gave a class to the devotees in Ottawa this morning, and you know, somebody just asked the question, how do you deal with people, you know, and the outdoors? How can you just remain positive? Well, I just said, like, we take examples from the pure devotee. Prabhupada would go through the parks with the devotees and he'd say, good morning, kind of like with a big smile, and send out all those positive vibrations out to people. And this is the case also for any of us. You know, if you throw positivity out there, you'll get it back. It usually comes back, or at least gets people thinking, well, why is he so damn happy? You know, why is he so positive? And here I'm at work and slugging away through the hours. Well, I think if you have the right attitude, it'll be all right. And Arjun's attitude right now wasn't the best, but Krishna's gonna pull him out of it and help him to be a positive thinker. Yeah, so that he does. And so it's a good statement. I think this verse, like the others, is also a good one to learn because it's one you want to grab when you're down. When you're down, when you're up, you don't have to worry about anything. But when you're down, you need to sort of, you know, just get aligned with uplifting words or phrases, and this is one of them. You become eligible for liberation. That means you stop, you know, liberation or moksha, the Sanskrit word, means that you stop the cycle of birth and death. You stop being in a sort of a washing machine. You know, and only when maybe I like that analogy. When the washing machine stops at a certain point, when everything's clean, it stops, right? You know, it's gone through a rinse, it's gone through a final rinse, and then it just stops. And then maybe it'll give a buzzer or something like that. So indicate time to go in the dryer now, you know, or put it on the clothesline, right? So it's everything just stops, you know. When the cycles are over, it stops. And, you know, people, they do the samskars. Even in our tradition, we do rites of passage, you know. But most important is that we subject ourselves to chanting. And I'd say, you know, what really reflects in your high level of spirituality is the way you deal with people. You know, that shows very much how advanced you are, how mature you are. You know, some of us are a little bit loners or like to be a little bit, go through hermit phases. But, you know, people could be, they're a lot of fun to be with. They really are. And sometimes they get on your nerves, then it's time to just kind of be quiet and hum a nice tune. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. And that's kind of like some practical tips on how to deal with loneliness, depression, overthinking, all those kind of things that make it hard for liberation. But Krishna gives a very strong statement in chapter 18, text 1866. He says, just surrender your will to me, and I'll relieve you of all karma. I'll just soak it all in myself. And I'll give you moksha. The cycle will stop. And then finally, after that's done, then more stress is needed. So 1866. It's another nice verse to learn. So yeah, Krishna's trying to lift his spirits. He's giving all the good reasons for it. Next week we're going to go over another key verse, which talks about different kind of philosophers, jnani yogis who study life, and they come to one conclusion, and that is where there's matter, everything's temporary. Where there's spirit, everything there is permanent. And so, like Chanakya Pandit, he used to say, why put all your energy in, let's say, something you can't trust in? And matter is something you can't trust in. Just like we cannot predict what the weather is like, Maybe the farmer's almanac will tell you it's going to be a long, long, deep, intense winter, which it has been basically for some of us who are living up north here. I have to do a nice plug in and make everything kind of equal. For those of you Floridians who are on this call, it is hell in the middle of July, August. Hell. It's just the weather conditions are such. So everyone gets hit hard, but we're encouraged to be not disturbed by the dualities. Again, 2:14, same theme, as 2:15. These two verses will blend really well together. And if anybody's willing to, let's say, memorize these, you can get back to us next week. By the way, do we give any homework assignments? The last time I was with you, Prabhu, I was up at 3:30 in the morning or something like that. And did we talk to anybody about, memorizing some of these verses? My Tuesday night gang does. They're learning verses, so I'm just getting a little bit jealous there now, a little bit competitive. Okay, if we don't have anything down now, then I would request for next week that, learn the Sanskrit, learn the English from some of these string of verses here, which are in chapter 2. I would suggest, if I may, Natriyabaham Jatunasham Natam Neme Janadipa. That's text number 12. That's the first part of the philosophy that Krishna brings up. This verse, number 12, talks about eternality of the soul. So I would say start there. 13 is very quoted by Prabhupada and the Acharyas. 14 is also a real important one, talking about dualities and how to deal with dualities. So when you learn these verses, it strengthens your purified intelligence. Yeah. Any questions, Bruce, so far?
What is that? Also chapter 2?
Yeah, chapter 2.
Okay.
I think the most important ones are out of this cluster of them. Chapter 2, text 13 and 14. Those are very important verses to have under your belt. Yeah. Anybody else with any comments, realizations? Yeah, Nita Priya. Oh, I see your hand is always up. Anything? Anybody else? We look at some key words here. Purusha is a common word used, it's in this verse, referring to a person. Purusha, Rishabha, or best among men. Purusha refers to people, men. But dukkha, dukkha, sukha means happy, dukkha means sad. Liberation, amrita vivaya, kalpate, considered eligible for moksha. Good. Any comments? I can see some of you are looking at the words, the lines. Okay, that's fine. I think that's a sign. Let's go to text number 16. Okay, let's cover another verse. Why not? One person can deliver the Sanskrit. Vaishnavi, why don't we just do it in the order of what the devotees just did with the last verse? Is that okay?
Yes, but few other devotees joined in after that. So,
Okay, if everyone's attentive, you can add some people on. You want to categorically mention their names right now?
okay. So, Mansi Ganga, Arjuna, Gurudas, Navayavana, Nitai Priya. Ragini, if you are not driving, you can read. Sandamani,
Your mother.
Shakti Devi, Vasanta, Vashi. Right, I think I said all the names.
Okay.
Okay, this is a good one. It's another good one to learn. But I'd say 13, 14 are quite critical. Okay, we got a whole page there. So let's give us the Sanskrit.
Okay. Nasato vidyate bhavo. Bhavo vidyate satah. Ubayor api drashto antas tvanyos tattva darshibhihi.
Excellent, very nicely said. Next. Next.
Gurudas, okay.
Okay, those who are seers of the truth have concluded that the non-existent material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both.
Very nice, good, good. And in the purport, let's see, let's do one sentence that'll cover it for everybody. All right.
No endurance of the changing body.
Good. It's short, but boy, isn't it not important. Next.
Okay,
Hello.
that the body is, how many sentences should I read? 2 or 3?
One.
One, okay. That the
I already
body is,
mentioned it.
okay, Sir Maharaj. That the body is changing every moment by the actions and reactions of the different cells is admitted by modern medical science, and thus growth and old age are taking place in the body.
Good.
But the spirit soul exists permanently, remaining the same despite all changes of the body and the mind.
Good. Let it flow.
That is the difference between matter and spirit.
By nature, the body is ever changing and the soul is eternal.
Nice.
This conclusion is established by all classes of seers of the truth, both impersonalist and personalist.
Good.
In the Vishnu
In the Vishnu
Purana.
Purana.
Sorry, my turn.
You can go ahead.
Vashigo.
In the Vishnu Purana, it is stated that Vishnu and his abodes all have self-illuminated spiritual existence. Yotimisi Vishnu Bhuvanani Vishnu.
Good.
The words existent and non-existent refer only to spirit and matter.
That is the version of all seers of truth.
Good.
This is the beginning of the instruction by the Lord to the living entities who are bewildered by the influence of ignorance.
Removal of ignorance involves the reestablishment of the eternal relationship between the worshiper and the worshipable, and the consequent understanding of the difference between the part and parcel living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Nice.
Understand the nature of the Supreme by thorough study of oneself, the difference between oneself and the Supreme being understood as the relationship between the part and the whole.
In the Vedanta Sutras, as well as in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme has been accepted as the origin of all emanations.
Right.
Such emanations are experienced by superior and inferior natural sequences.
The
living entities.
Go ahead.
The living entities belong to the superior nature, as it will be revealed in the 7th chapter.
Although there is no difference between the energy and energetic, the energetic is accepted as the supreme, and the energy or nature is accepted as the subordinate.
The living entities, therefore, are always subordinate to the Supreme Lord, as in the case of the master and the servant, or the teacher and the taught. Such clear knowledge,
Such clear knowledge is impossible to understand under the spell of ignorance, and to drive away such ignorance, the Lord teaches the Bhagavad Gita for the enlightenment of all living entities for all time.
Okay, beautiful, for all time. Nice. Okay, so you've all read one line. Go back to your one line. Give yourselves 2-3 minutes to meditate on it and come up with some little logical explanation of your line, so everyone gets the chance to get the class today. You know how we do this sometimes, right? So you know your lines, right? Now somebody is basically taken care of the Sanskrit of the verse or the English translation. Still try to come up with something. Work with the English, what's there, and come up with some explanation. Okay, so everyone will have like 2 minutes to say something. We should have lots of fun with this. Okay, and those of you who didn't have a chance to do something, I think we might have missed some 2 or 3. Yeah, don't worry about it, but do say something about the verse in whole. Okay, everyone understands? Does everyone understand?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, so you got 2 minutes to go over it. 2.5, okay? Great, and then we'll hear from everyone. Haribol. One by one.
Hare Krishna. I mean, I read the translation and a few sentences in the purport, but I mean, I guess the main point is that the material elements are temporary and
Gurudas,
changing. Yes.
maybe we wait for Maharaj to come back.
Okay.
You can say.
Hare Krishna, what verse is it? I just got here, so I was like, I don't know.
2.16.
216?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Prabhus, thank you so much. Let's move along then. Is everyone doing okay? You had a chance to meditate on your sentence?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
And everyone's ready to give a mini class to us all? Okay. Okay, we'll need somebody who's good at the stopper, keeping the time. And I guess, why don't we shoot for, how much time do we have here? Let's 2 minutes. When you get to the 2-minute point, one person can just go press the buzzer or whatever, so somebody can say Hari Bol. Okay, who will be that Hari Bowler? Vaishnavi, will you do it for us?
Okay, Maharaj.
Okay. We'll start with was it Gurudas? Did you do the Sanskrit?
I did the translation, Maharaj.
I did.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I did the Sanskrit.
Okay, so then can you just give us 2 minutes of some of the key words in the verse?
So the soul is permanent and the body is ever changing. And then the next point I think is the ignorance is removed when there is re-establishment of relationship between the worshipper and worshipable, and the subsequently understanding between the part and parcel of the living being and Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Nice. Okay. Bravo. Bravo. I guess we can just applaud for everybody.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, great. And now you're on, Guru Das.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So I mean, the translation, the verse itself is talking about the distinction between matter and spirit, and just one thought to add to that, Srila Prabhupada pointed out how modern science, medical science, admits the changes of the body, but I think in all material sciences we can see that the world is constantly changing; it's always in flux, but that the spiritual universal truths are eternal, and how consciousness, one very fascinating thing is how consciousness is being regarded as more fundamental to reality in like quantum physics now. So it's an interesting verse and interesting thing to meditate on. I'm going to try to keep it to the 2 minutes. So
No, you're okay with the time. Oh, what?
Okay. Sorry, we lost all of you there. Guru Das, did you have something to say?
Oh yeah, Maharaj, I was just saying, sorry, we must have got cut off somehow. That the distinction between matter and spirit is sort of the topic of this verse. And I was commenting on how Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport how modern medical science sees that how the body changes. And I was just going to add that in quantum physics, they're starting to realize that consciousness is more fundamental to reality than matter. So things like the quantum observer effect, the double slit experiment, has shown that the consciousness of the observer has an impact on how reality, how the physical reality comes out. And so now we're seeing that more fundamental to the world is spirit or consciousness, rather than the other way around, which is how a lot of materialistic philosophy has assumed is the case.
So do you think people are actually going a little deeper, penetrating a little bit more?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's more interest.
A large
think there's-
percentage.
Yeah, I think there's more interest in what is consciousness. It's really puzzling the scientists, as to what is consciousness. And they're starting to realize that it's more fundamental to reality than they thought.
Good. So finally, they're getting it. They figured it out. Okay, good. Next person then.
I read the first line. There's no endurance of the changing body. So this particular line, like you said, summarizes this whole verse, and it's actually closely related as well to the verse 13. Dehino asminyata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tata dehantra praptir dhirastatrama mukyati, where it says that the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age. The soul similarly passes into a similar body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. So in short, the body changes constantly, but the self within it remains unchanged. Maharaj.
Nice. Thank you very much. Bravo.
You're very welcome. And do you want me to go to the second sentence that I read, or just wait?
No, I read the second sentence, I think.
No, I'm sorry, the second from my point of view.
Okay.
Okay, you go ahead, Mataji.
No, you want to say something, you can go ahead. I mean, I'll
Real
continue.
quick, the other sentence that I read in this particular purport was basically by understanding our own spiritual nature, we can understand that we are a small part of the infinite supreme reality. So basically that says knowing ourselves, helps us understand that we are a small part of the supreme.
Nice. Thank you. Bravo.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
This all gives everyone gets a chance. Excuse
Yes,
me.
Maharaj.
Everyone
No,
has a chance to learn how to do a presentation in due course. We're starting out with baby steps here. Okay, please go ahead, Navio.
Yeah, I continued after Sandamini, yes. The second sentence in that purport, that the body is changing every moment by the actions and reactions of the different cells is admitted by modern medical science, and thus growth and old age are taking place in the body. This is kind of what Gurudas was talking about. And yes, like modern science says that the body is constantly changing. But it doesn't, the modern science does not tell us this, though definitely I would say that body changes, but the soul remains the same. I mean, it is eternal. It doesn't tell us that. That is the big difference here, because although this sentence is talking about our bodily changes and how temporary, it actually means our body is so temporary. It's unreal, I mean, kind of a thing in the sense of temporary. And the soul is eternal. It's not mentioned in the sentence, of course, but that is what it means. And so the body is contemporary, it keeps changing. So while the soul remains, and this is stated in the words, there's a word here, abhava, which means changing quality. This is the body that keeps changing. It is like abhava. It keeps changing, and we grow old. I mean, of course, we go through youth age, then the old age comes in, and then we disappear from the world. So yeah, this is what this sentence is actually talking about. It's trying to bring our attention to the real fact of our life is that our body keeps changing. So why are you looking at the body in a way? Don't look at your body. And then, of course, further on, other sentences continue talking about the soul and the eternal.
Other sentences, yeah.
Yes, they talk about it.
Just stick to your.
Yes. So my sentence is actually only talking about the body growth and how it keeps growing. It keeps growing through. It passes through the young day, the youth, the age of youth, and then and becomes old later on, and that's what is happening. Man, modern science says that, which, and I just mentioned here the modern science doesn't tell us more
Okay,
than
well,
that.
I think you're over the time limit.
That's
you
it,
know.
yes, sir.
Sorry to, just.
No problem, Maharaj. I'm ending.
Everyone
That's
else
it. I'm
has to
done.
have a
I'm
little
done.
time.
I'm done.
Okay, bravo, very nice, very nice. We know you'll be able to deliver a good class down the road. Who's next?
I believe I read the next sentence and
Okay.
also the last sentence, so I'll combine the two into one.
Okay, beautiful.
But the spirit soul exists permanently, remaining the same despite all changes of the body and mind. And then the last sentence was, such clear knowledge is impossible to understand under the spell of ignorance, and to drive away such ignorance, the Lord teaches the Bhagavad Gita for the enlightenment of all living entities for all time. So with just combining the two, with touching on what Guru Das was saying about how scientists are discovering consciousness, I also saw a video by someone speaking about how air itself is conscious, because we can live without food for so long, we can live without so many things for so long, but with air, we cannot live without it for more than a certain amount of time. And when we do, we actually, we pass out, we lose consciousness if we haven't had enough air. So therefore it's like a highlight as to how air itself is conscious. And just from a singer's perspective, as a singer and a teacher of voice, breath is the first and most important part of being able to sing, and a good breath helps you to sing well. And so going to that last sentence about the Lord teaches the Bhagavad Gita for the enlightenment of all living entities for all time, the Bhagavad Gita is the song of God. So I think there's a big highlight here on breath and being conscious of the love that we take in, the conscious love that we take in when we breathe. And because Krishna himself sang his message to teach us, that shows a key towards using our voices and toward music. And I think we need to endeavor to treat that gift well, to use our breath well, and to actually learn how to sing well. And I'm not saying that as a teacher because I'm retired. I'm not trying to get anyone to learn from me. But what I am saying is that it's important for us to work together and use our prana in the service of Krishna, so that it sounds sweetly for other people, because we are in the service of helping share Srila Prabhupada's enlightenment of all living entities for all time. So let's learn how to cooperate and use our voices responsibly.
Very nice. Thank you. Beautiful. Penetrating. A lot of thought. Everyone's doing really excellent. Next. After the queue of Nitai Priya, who's after that?
Shakti Devi.
Really?
Is it you?
Devi.
All right, well, we can go next.
Okay. Okay. So my line was the words existent and non-existent refer only to spirit and matter. So existent referring to the spirit, right? Non-existent is matter, or like material, temporary material world, right? I think an easy way, just that line, to understand that line is maybe thinking of it like clothing, and us wearing the clothing, right? Our body, like our clothes eventually will wear down, right? Will wear out. But our soul, as the person wearing the clothes, we always continue to exist. Very
nice.
It's just a simple understanding of what that line at least means.
Yeah, good revelations. Simple truth. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I read a very short little line, but it talks about this verse, meaning, it's that is the seers of truth.
The version.
Yeah, right. So the body and the material world are temporary, so they're asat, and the soul is eternal, so the soul is sat. So when we truly understand that I am not this body, or if I truly understand I'm not this body, I am an eternal soul, servant of Krishna, right? And this naturally leads us into bhakti, because if the soul is eternal, then that eternal relationship is in loving service to Krishna. So understanding that the verse moves a person towards devotion rather than material pursuit, that's where bhakti comes in. And the material, we don't identify with that material identification, the material desires, the self-centered motives. We start to see that we're the servant of the servant of the servant, and the main servant is Krishna, right? So as we start to grow, we start to see that kind of bloom like a flower.
Thank you very much. Bravo. Very good. Very good. Everyone's quite capable here. Who's next?
Oh, it's me, Vasanta. By nature, the body is ever changing and soul is eternal. I'll combine that with the second one I read in the Vedanta Sutras as well as in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Supreme has been accepted as the origin of all emanations. So, as Gurudev Prabhu said, all consciousness, the object, according to science now, object exists only because the observer exists. So, and observer, object, everything comes from consciousness, and consciousness is provided by God, Krishna. So, everything we see in the universe, whether it's material or spirit, comes from Bhagavan.
Nice. Nice. We're proud.
Thank you.
Next. We're doing good. Is that Bussy? Who's next in the queue?
I read one sentence which basically says that is the difference between matter and spirit. So basically, that's what everyone was talking about, how it is explained that the matter is temporary and the spirit is permanent. So,
Is it a question?
well, that's basically what the sentence says. So,
Okay, we'll leave it as a question then. Thank you. Very good for participating. Our dear host. Who's next?
I didn't get to read, but I can I connect it with the last verse, last sentence a lot.
Okay.
About the ignorance, to drive away the ignorance that the Lord teaches the Bhagavad Gita for enlightenment of all living entities of all time. The first thing I thought about was Guru, and that we need someone to pull us out, like a drowning man can't save himself, and that we need association of devotees also to help us get out, and also that we need to constantly hear and chant to help us to understand this. So that's what I came up with as far as that goes.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent. If we fall into a pit, it's pretty hard for us to get ourselves out. You need help from someone else who's out of the hole or out of the pit, and they can throw a rope and they can kind of like yank you up and out of there, but when you're in a pit and it's very steep, it's pretty hard to do it all by yourself. You got to get help from your friends. Okay. Who's next?
So my verse, Maharaj, was in the Vishnu Purana. It is stated that Vishnu and his abodes all have self-illuminated spiritual existence. Jyotimsi Vishnu Bhuvani Vishnu. And basically, this verse is stating that we're all creation of Vishnu, we're derived from him. And anyone who reaches his abode all have self-illumination. Like in this material earth, we have like the sun that's illuminating everything, whereas the creator of everything in his abodes are self-illuminated without having these, is my understanding of this verse.
Mhm.
And then
Beautiful.
the other sentence that I had was the living entities belong to the superior nature as it will be revealed in the 7th chapter. And my understanding again is that we are all parts and parcels of the Lord, and our soul is eternal, and we are not this body. So if we follow the Krishna conscious movement and we, create this love for Krishna, we will return back to them.
Beautiful. Thank you.
That's correctly said.
Yeah, very nice. Nice revelations there. Bravo. Next. Have we gone through everyone, Vaishnavi?
Yes, looks like yes.
Oh, we have. Okay. So then that's great. Thank you. You all have the opportunity to say something on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, bringing out some fundamental truths about life. We're not these bodies and so on, dealing with dualities. We're talking about seekers of the truth. These are people who penetrate, and they're taking a little time to look at the world. But they're just not in the mode of, survivalism, trying to find something to eat or trying to find a mate, all those kind of things. But, we're actually going a little deeper to look at what's out there in the world and how I can contribute to make it a better world. Yeah, good. Bruce, thank you so much. We're going to cut it a little short because I have to do another class right now on the hour. All right. So we'll meet again next week. It shouldn't be a problem. Next week I'll be in Vancouver. I just have to think about the 3-hour change. All right. So I heard in Vancouver they're not changing to the time. They're just keeping to.
Yeah. So after this coming weekend, the next time the daylight happens in the fall, they're not changing. They're staying.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm smart. I think that's smart. We should.
That's
all
how it
be
should be
doing
for
that.
everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We got some stubborn people, probably people who own the business world, the corporate world. We're not doing anything. This has worked for us and we're not going to make any changes. Bruce, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Okay. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha.
Chubascha,
Vipasandaviyascha. Namo Namaha. Thank
Krishna
you.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Jai
Thank you,
Maharaj. Thank
Maharaj.
you.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Maharaj.
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Devi.
Hare Krishna.